Yo, what up, everybody? It's J-Rock right here. Today I'm gonna be hitting you with another comic book review. This one I have in singles, so it's not gonna be a trade like I usually do. Had these in singles. It's a 4-issue miniseries called KILLIAN'S. This was written way back in 2001. So this is from Fathom, the series Fathom. Now the main villain there is Killian. So after the 12-issue miniseries, and I believe the first series went 14 issues, you got introduced to this villain named Killian. After that, they made this 4-issue miniseries, kind of like an origin story, show you why he's a villain, why he's the way he is, and so forth, right? It's a Michael Turner creation, like I said. It's the Fathom series. Now he does the plot on this, so he kind of explains to the creative team where to take the story and so forth. But the artist here is actually some guy called Caldwell. He's the artist on this, and the writer is Bill O'Neill. Now this artist, he's very similar to Michael Turner. Michael Turner, before he unfortunately passed away way too young, he had a school where he taught people how to draw art and so forth. And he had people that draw similar to his style, and he would tend to give them jobs, right? Because on his creations like Fathom and so forth, he kind of wanted for whenever you had other artists to have a similar style, so that way it looks like it's the same person, right? It's more cohesive, if you will. And this guy's art, it's very similar to Michael Turner's in the art style. Now in the form of storytelling, Michael Turner's far superior. This guy is like very amateurish by comparison. His panel layout is not my favorite. Also, the way he tells a story, not just the way he moves the action, but the way he tells a story with the art, the way he moves what's happening in one panel to the next to get the story moving, it's not like Michael Turner would do it. Like if you showed me a pinup of his, just a cover from Caldwell, a cover from Turner, you say that's the same artist. But if you showed me one page, just telling a story on one page, it'd be far different. Turner hardly uses borders and so forth. He makes them look more like a collage. You know, like in a tattoo, you get a lot of different drawings together without borders. That's how his pages look. This guy draws a lot of borders and so forth from one panel to the next, like your typical comic book art style, right? So that's kind of important to know. Now I'm gonna give you a brief review of what I thought about the story without spoilers. Then I'm gonna kind of tell you, get more in depth and talk spoilers. All right, that sounds good to you? Let's get to it. All right, so here we get introduced to some of the main characters. You can see them on the cover here. It's Killian, the main villain. His big brother right here, Seer. His girlfriend right here, Anya. And the little homie is the youngest guy on the squad, named Rife. Now, what I would have liked to see here is more character development. We got kind of a lack of character growth with Killian. He's a bad guy at heart in the series and so forth. So I would have liked to see how he became a villain. It turned out he's always been kind of bad. We just saw how he went from being kind of like an asshole and hating humans, how he went from that to a terrorist, to actually like not just talk and acting on these feelings, right? So that's kind of what we got with him. And Anya, one thing I didn't like about the girlfriend Anya is the artist. They drew her. She looks she's kind of has like a dark tone to her. She's not completely dark, but she looks like a light-skinned black girl, and she has braids. Then somewhere along towards the end of the first issue, she now is more light-skinned and doesn't have the braids anymore. I was like, hey, they kind of changed her. She now looks white. Like, I don't know why they did that. It didn't make sense to me. There was no explanation. My theory was that the father, then we introduced to the father later on, and he's white. So maybe it's because he's white, they thought, oh, we have to make her white too. I thought a better take would have been if then they never introduced the mother here. Maybe you show the mother and she's black. So maybe she's like a biracial child. So that's why she would be light-skinned. That would have made more sense. And then just keep her black, because you drew her that way in the first pages. Commit to it. Leave her that way. That's the way you drew her already. That's just my opinion there. Sirius became, the big brother, he became more of a likable character. He was kind of an asshole at first, and he started changing his ways. He became more complicated. He was no longer just black and white. He became more of a gray tone where he has a different philosophy or way of thinking. His main priority, first and foremost, is his people. And Killian clearly just about his own feelings and emotions. All right, guys, so that's the main story here. I thought the writing was average. The art was average. Some things also I didn't like in the art was the on the panels, sometimes you get these big exciting explosions and fight scenes. And those, the bigger the scene, the more important the situation going on, the bigger the panel should be. And they do this on like little panels, and then when they're just speaking, it's like a big panel. That, you know, I thought that shows the lack of awareness on the artist's part of this, as far as storytelling, how these should have bigger moments, should have bigger panels, right? Okay, so like I said, overall, I give this story part like a C plus. Now let's get to the spoiler section. You guys ready for that? Let's get to that. So this starts off with the humans. They're at the Navy deck. They're creating this nuclear bomb, and they're about to toss it in the ocean. It gets tossed in the ocean, blows all kinds of shit up right in the ocean, the waters, waves, and everything going on. And they're calling it a success. They're like, oh, successful, this bomb, you know, if we ever go to war, this gonna do some damage. People are not gonna wanna mess with us. That's the human side on the surface dwellers. Now you see the water dwellers, you see it explode and it's blowing up a city, kinds of people are dying and so forth. So the water dwellers are pissed right now. They're like, what the hell just went down? All kinds of our people just died. They go do some investigation. In this story, they're kind of like the alien race, right? The humans are the humans and the underwater people are aliens. So they will go to investigate. They pose as humans and whatnot because they look like humans. And it turns out they were just testing nuclear weapons. It was not an act of war or terrorism. They basically killed a bunch of our people without even knowing they did it. So they're saying, okay, it was an accident then. So the president or whatever, the council, they go give a big speech. One guy is for diplomacy. He's saying, you know what, we should introduce ourselves to the humans, let them know what's up, let them know we live down here so that they don't throw bombs and this stuff doesn't happen again, right? The other guy's like, we should go to war and so forth and, you know, let them have it. More people, everybody gets a vote. It's kind of like a democracy, much like the United States. So they put it to a vote. People don't want to go to war. They're thinking one of the guy's ideas is better that, you know, diplomacy, let's introduce ourselves, tell them we mean no harm and let them know what they just did so that these things don't happen again. And some of them are saying the moment we introduce ourselves, they're going to go to war with us because we're aliens. They're going to want to study us and so forth. When they go to war with us, we're prepared for it. The one guy's trying to tell them, how do you know they're going to go to war with us? Maybe they won't. If they do, we have a superior technology, we will win. So there's a whole long debate here, very political here. You know, as for when you're building another world that's not Earth or other species, you have to throw some politics in there to explain what their rules are and their morals are, how their country or their planet works, right? So we can get an idea of where they're coming from, right? When they come with these rash decisions. And these people are Democrats, they're very much like humans, pretty much, right? They're not like Neanderthal, cavemen, like some other alien races in other comics would be. Killian forms a little crew right here. You see them all right there. And they start doing little minor things like we gotta send a message to the humans. So the first thing they do is they're going around getting fishermen and saving all the fish. They stop the fishermen, get them out of there, save the fish, and blow up their boats. And they're doing that to all fishermen. They go, we don't want to hurt the humans, but we're sending a message of like, don't mess with the ocean and with living things in the ocean. So they're starting out small. He's not fully committed to terrorism yet because his big brother Sears is kind of putting a stop to that. It's like, we're not here to kill humans. We're not here to send a message, that message to them of war. Here to send a different type of message. And in one of these missions, he gets into one of the fishermen and ends up stabbing the fisherman, right? So they get into a physical altercation. Sears lets them know, you can't be doing this. They go back home. This catches the attention of that politician that ends up being Anya's father. He tells Killian, I've been keeping an eye on you guys. I know what you guys been up to. He goes, you have the right set of mind, because what he wants to do is he wants to go to war, but he can't because he's been overthrown by the other politicians and council, right? So he's like, look, I can't do this stuff. It's going to make me look bad. I can't go against them. They'll kick me out, lose my position, right? He goes, but I have the power, the money, and so forth to do these things. You have the right set of mind, and you're a nobody. So you could do it. You just don't have the resources or the money, whatever, right? He goes, I do. So I could give you this stuff, my resources, basically so you could do my dirty work for me. right? So he convinces Killian from going from doing these little petty minor crimes to going doing bigger things. They go to a Navy deck and start murdering all kinds of soldiers with these new weapons that Anya's father provided them with. He provided his squad with them. They let all these guys have it. And Sear says the moment if any of them they live, the moment they tell people aliens exist, we kill them. All the humans are gonna stick together. All the countries, it's a big world. If they all stick together against us, don't think they're gonna be a pushover. It's gonna be a lot of casualties on our side too. Even if we win, we lose. Now the next phase of the plan for this politician, aka Anya's father, is he's ready to go to war. That's what he's setting up here. He's moving the pieces. He's playing a game of chess with these kids that don't know any better. So he wants them to go look for these nuclear weapons they were building. They go, that nuclear bomb they had, it killed a lot of people with one bomb. I'm ready to go to war with them. We need to find where they're creating these bombs and take those bombs away from them, because with those bombs, that's probably the one chance they have of winning this war, right? So they are planning to attack another Navy deck. They know they're gonna have to kill a lot of people to get there, because that's where these big weapons are, to steal these weapons, so that then the humans are defenseless, right, with their big guns, and then they could start a war. Anya takes hold of this. She says, "I'm not down with this. I'm not about that life." She leaves. She lets Cannon Hawk and the rest of the council know. Cannon Hawk is he's kind of like a higher up soldier, like a sergeant or some type of, high position up there. He finds out about all this. He goes, "I've been knowing about it. I've been following them. I just didn't know all the pieces," right? So when she lets him know, he goes, "We could use you, Anya. You're his girlfriend. Pretend you're with him, and you'll be our inside man, right? So we could follow where he's going." Now, this issue really picks up on issue 3, because they're going to this place and they're just shooting soldiers down with think Pearl Harbor, where the planes just came and started dropping bombs on the Americans. They just show up with planes just shooting down all the Americans, and they find this nuclear bomb. When they find it, Cannon Hawk and the rest of the water dwellers show up. They're like, "We got problems, and it ain't the humans, it's our own kind. They're here to stop us from doing this." And that's when shit really hits the fan. Shit gets real. Killian barely escapes with his life. He bones out, hides somewhere. Turns out where he's hiding, the big brother Sears knows where he goes. "You know what? I know where he'll be." He fucked up not taking his soldiers with him. He goes by himself thinking he could talk some sense into him. It's his little brother. Killian has always had these reoccurring nightmares of his parents getting gunned down. So the place where he pictures this happening in his dreams, he goes to that place to be by himself. Big brother shows up, lets him know, "What were you thinking?" Obviously, he didn't bring soldiers with him, so he's holding back. He's not trying to kill the brother or start a fight, right? He's holding back, trying to reason with him. Killian isn't having any of that. The moment he shows up, he starts fighting them, and you could tell he's trying his hardest to kill his big brother. Big brother's trying to defend himself, while at the same time not hurting little brother, so he's holding back. Therefore, he loses the fight and dies right here. He dies pretty brutal. Like, you see Killian kind of choking the life out of him here in the last page. The story ends there. So that kind of puts the icing on the cake. Like, it finishes off right there where Killian will be. When he kills his brother there with his bare hands, chokes the life out of him, and you see now he's officially 100% a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, when the brother went, you still felt like maybe he has some type of hope. After their chat and how he just jumped to battle, it made it official. He's just a bad guy. He's no good. You know what I'm saying? All right, guys. So that's about it. If you like what you saw here, you want to find out more about the character Cannon Hawk's origin or the series Fathom herself and so forth, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I will be reading the rest of the series, and I'll be dropping reviews on those as well. That way, when you subscribe, it'll notify you on your feed so we could continue these stories. All right, guys, other than that, I'd just like to thank you guys for taking some time out of your day to hear me talk comics, and I'll take you guys on next time.